Welcome, Devil Sniper here, and today I'm bringing you episode number 14 of our career mode with Nottingham Forest. So we're going to start off with making a few changes. Now, as you know in the previous episode, Newcastle came back and basically said, you're just not offering enough money for Orbiton, which is really frustrating. I just don't understand it. It really is frustrating to have players do that. But what's more frustrating is Jamaal Lascelles coming in and saying, I want the new contract, but now you've offered me the new contract, I don't know if I want to stay at the club. And that is really annoying. So hopefully we can persuade him to stay at the club. Who knows, he might just move on in the summer, because I definitely won't let him go in this transfer window. If I need to, it will be in the summer if we're in the Championship or in the Premier League. Hopefully we'll be in the Premier League, otherwise I think I will be beyond frustrated. Anyway, we start off against Doncaster. Jacob Mellis plays a nice ball over the top. Lansbury uses his power and strength to get away from the Doncaster defender. Absolutely outmuscles him and has the nice finish to boot as well, which was sensational. Great play by Lansbury. And this is what I want to see from my rogue in midfield. I want to see him being a combative midfielder, as well as having that delicate touch when it comes to passing, which unfortunately in the last episode, if you may remember, if you don't, there will be a link in the description at the end of the episode, I think, or link in the description below for the last episode. But he really wasn't at the races in the last episode. His passing was off by a country mile, and Coxey there had an absolutely fantastic opportunity, but just bewildered himself with an awful attempted finish. But Blackstock with a great ball through, and Coxey, he is just a revelation. Look at him, a little bit of muscle, gets the foot to the ball first and sticks it away. Look at that, just leans into him gently. Defender can't do anything, goes for the tackle. He's got his left foot there, and it's a beautiful finish. I was really chuffed with that finish, and really chuffed for Coxey, because he's been playing really well, and he takes every opportunity he gets with both hands, which is really nice to see. But Doncaster came back, and I have no idea how that was saved by Darlow. The man is he's just Superman. I reckon he must wear Superman pants or a Superman t-shirt underneath his kit, because he's just astounding. He's like Batfink. His wings are like a shield of steel that deflects footballs. In this case, if you don't know who Batfink is, he used to deflect bullets. It's an iconic old school cartoon that I've seen a few times, but yeah, he's just like Batfink. Unbelievable. But it was an easy first half for us. I felt really confident. The boys were playing really well, and there was nothing that Doncaster really offered. As normal, we gave a sloppy free kick away, which was really frustrating, but Darlow was equal to the opportunity, and I decided to bring on Lafondra just to tidy up the rest of the game, to be honest. And Blackstock picking up that ball beautifully, plays a wonderful ball through into Lafondra, and of course Lafondra would finish to give us a deserved 3-0 win, or hopefully a 3-0 win I should say. We're not going to collapse with like a minute to go, so I think it's pretty obvious we are going to win. But it was such a great finish, and that's why we bought Lafondra. That's why we paid the money for him, and I think we've got ourselves an absolute bargain. I'm hoping he can match his shirt. My dream is that he matches his shirt number and gets 20 goals. I'm not 100% sure that is really possible with my really bad play on FIFA, but I'm really hoping he hits 20. But I'm going to say 3-0 against Doncaster away from home. That's what we should be doing, and as you can see, it was a close game. You know, we had 3 shots and all 3 shots were on target. The irony, the absolute irony. Doncaster with 5 and 3, and they just weren't good enough, unfortunately. We had Darlow, they didn't. I think it was that simple. It came down to that. And that's the difference between, you know, finishing in the top 6 and finishing in the bottom 3, bottom 4, bottom 5, in my opinion, is Darlow at this moment in time. We're currently 5th in the table, 14 wins, 7 draws, 7 losses after 28 games. 49 points on the board. It is really close around that area. It is really close. I think the title could go to one of 4 teams at this moment in time, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how this season does pan out. And we're playing one of the title favourites, of course, is Wigan at home, so hopefully we can put in a good performance and pull off a victory. Would be really nice. But Wigan tear us apart with an unbelievable ball, but it doesn't matter. Darlow reads it. He is like a sweeper. He came out and just nullifies the situation like an absolute legend. I love him so much. But Wigan were just absolutely destroying my will to play FIFA. They were unbelievable. They were coming at us at 100 miles an hour, really making it hard. We get a nice opportunity to break down the right-hand side, and of course, we absolutely balls it up. Cock it up, and it was just the way this game went. For some reason, we couldn't do anything. But Gaza Gardner, all my days, I've got to say, that is an absolutely horrific challenge by Gaza Gardner. And a deserved yellow card, unfortunately, I have to say. And I don't say that very often when it comes to my players. Normally I turn a blind eye like Arsene Wenger, but on this occasion I had to look at it. And I had to say it was a yellow card. But I won't be docking any wages. I might give him an extra Jaffa cake and we can all move on. So half-time, a 0-0 scoreline, and Wigan were the dominant side. They were outplaying us. It was that simple. And it was just a horrible game to be part of. I couldn't do anything right. The team didn't play very well. The team wasn't looking confident. And again, as you can see, Wigan coming down that right-hand side, just causing us so many problems. But Darlow was there to save the day as per normal, and we were just getting torn to bits left, right and centre. A huge challenge there. I believe that was by Eric Lehigh, getting an absolutely magnificent last-second challenge. Otherwise, I think that would have been a goal for Wigan. Thankfully, it was not, and the game ended 0-0, and it was a very disappointing 0-0. From my point of view, these are the games that we need to nick and win 1-0. And unfortunately, we drew 0-0. But on a plus side, we didn't concede. And as you can see, how impotent were we going forward? We had no shots on target. We hardly had any possession. Our passing was atrocious. But Wigan, with 95% pass completion, destroyed us. Absolutely destroyed us. And that is the difference between world-class and legendary. The teams on legendary are of legendary proportion. Leeds United come in with an offer, a cheeky offer for Coxey. Coxey ain't going anywhere whatsoever. And Newcastle finally have the balls to tell me how much they want for Orbiton. They want the full 725. Do you know what? Sod off. I ain't paying 725 grand for him. He ain't worth it. He won't get into my Premier League side, and it's that simple. So moving on, Lascelles, as you would have seen, came in and said, don't worry about me, boss, you know, I'll still put in good performances. Do you know what, mate? You've got to put in good performances. Otherwise, I will just stick you on the bench to rot. And I'm just talking out my ass. I would never do that. Never, ever do that, because he's such a decent centre-back, and I really do actually like him. I just want to persuade him to stay at the club. So, we are playing Burnley away from home, and I've got to say, the front line of Burnley is quite... Burnley is quite scary. When you've got Vokes and Ings, it's quite scary, to be honest. And they're a very decent side, to be fair. But a nice ball into Jacob Mellis. Mellis getting into that box. A delightful cross to the back post. And a fantastic shot that is saved by the Burnley goalkeeper. Really disappointing. I was hoping we were going to get the cheeky goal there, but unfortunately we didn't. But then from the resulting corner, we managed to get the header into the back of the net to give us a deserved 1-0 lead, which I was really, really happy with. I do feel we should have scored from the early opportunity. We didn't, but the header was beautiful into that bottom corner. The man marking the post was the wrong side of the post, which is hilarious. Cone down the left-hand side, gets a nice cross in. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too high. The situation was mid-thread, and we couldn't get the header, which was a bit frustrating. And the referee blew the half-time whistle, and we were winning 1-0, which was such a great reflection from the last game. When you think that 0-0 draw against Wigan, the fact that Wigan outplayed us, to be going in at half-time with a Kelvin Wilson headed goal to give us that 1-0 lead was absolutely sensational, and really, really did fill me full of joy, because we were playing good football. We were dominating the game, but the problem is when you dominate, you get complacent, and what happens when you're complacent? You concede goals. What happened with the header? Talk about misread the bounce of the ball, misread the flight of the ball. That is just absolutely heartbreaking. And of course it was Kelvin Wilson who done that. So at one end he's scoring me a fantastic header, at the other end he's gifting Burnley a goal. But we are resilient, we are a dogged side. We get a little bit of luck there, as you can see, from Abdoun. He swings the cross into the back post, and what a beautiful header from the main man at the back post. Look at the run from the edge of the area. Bang! Get in there, Lafondra. Have that large, absolutely beautifully timed run. 3 defenders around him, they misread it, he doesn't, and it's powerfully headed into the back of the net to give us a deserved 2-1 lead, because we were dominating the game. It was only silly errors, as we know from Kelvin Wilson, that gave them an opportunity, but Burnley came straight back with a great opportunity there. I thought he was going to go for the cross. I misread the situation as well as the fullback, and he didn't. He went for the shot, and thankfully nothing came from it. But Burnley really upped the tempo nearing the 70th minute and tore us apart with a nice passing move to make it 2-2. I mean, it was a sensational ball over top. I thought it was offside, personally. It wasn't. We missed time to pull up on the line. It was a nice, simple, square ball for a simplistic finish, and I was just ashamed that Darlow couldn't get something to it. Perhaps he's not as much of a Superman. I can't say that. Darlow is a bloody Superman. He does nothing wrong in my eyes. He's absolutely fantastic, and if he had saved that, I would literally just stop this career mode and say there's no point, Darlow is God, but he didn't, so we continue with this career mode, and hopefully I can just justify my position as manager of Forest and get us to the playoffs or even to the Barclays Premier League. But we finished 2-2, very disappointed, but we're still in 5th position, which is fantastic. Hopefully we can now kick on and get to those 46 games and get to those playoffs, if not to automatic promotion.
I used to dream about cars and things, about being